I don't want to get into controversy there. But I worked very closely with him and I found him as a great professional. We are very self-critical, so we actually sort of exaggerate a small thing into a very big way. And in the whole process, it actually bites back. Kerala is recognized very well. In fact, Kerala Startup Mission continuously 3 years got the top performer ranking. We created some very unique things which other states have not done. So we may not grow at some 100x times. We don't promise that, nor we want to burn such big money. They actually wanted to, like you rightly pointed, they wanted to be profitable very early. Definitely. IT in many areas he has played a key role.
IT sector, IT principal secretary, projects.
What I mean is when he was in multiple roles, for tourism, DPI, he has contributed quite a bit. Startups, he has contributed quite a bit as a leader of the IT sector.
Do you think he was pardoned in the sense that being not fair to him, you want
I don't want to get into controversy there. But I worked very closely with him and I found him as a great professional and a person who is very, very bright, take decisions very fast. But that is true in the current dispensation also, that current IT secretary also is extremely good. He takes decisions very fast. So that is a good thing with the IT sector per se.
And it comes directly under the CM. So
yeah, correct.
So this is priority.
Trade union interference on the IT sector.
IT sector trade union interference I think all the companies are, at least in the parks, are all meeting the requirement, minimum wages, support systems and all are there. So I don't think there is a cater issue.
And actually, kind of a startup also. That person is a Malayali. He actually started out from here. But he actually was very much in saying that you should not mention me as a Kerala-based startup. You should say I am an India-based startup, because there are some sort of funding issues. Like when investors come, the North Indians investors come, they have a fear that Kerala-based startup will stay the economy, that there might be some sort of a block or something. So he was very much particular about asking me not to write Kerala-based startup, write India-based startup. So അങ്ങനെ ഒരു വരുന്നുണ്ടോ?
ഞാനത് കേട്ടിട്ടില്ല, പക്ഷേ ആ പെർസെപ്ഷൻ നമ്മൾ തന്നെ ബിൽഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നല്ലേ. വി ആർ വെരി സെൽഫ് ക്രിട്ടിക്കൽ, സോ വി ആക്ച്വലി സോർട്ട് ഓഫ് എക്സാജറേറ്റ് എ സ്മോൾ തിങ് ഇൻ ടു എ വെരി ബിഗ് വേ ആൻഡ് ഇൻ ദ ഹോൾ പ്രോസസ് ഇറ്റ് ആക്ച്വലി ബൈറ്റ്സ് ബാക്ക്. ഐ ന്യൂ ദാറ്റ് ഇൻ ദി പാസ്റ്റ് സം പീപ്പിൾ ആക്ച്വലി ട്രൈ ടു ക്രിയേറ്റ് ദെയർ വിസിറ്റിംഗ് കാർഡ്സ് വെർ ദേ പുട്ട് another office in another state primarily to crack businesses. But അതൊക്കെ ഇപ്പോൾ മാറി. So that all changed. But ഇത് ഞാൻ അതിൽ കേൾക്കാണ്.
I just did the story day before yesterday, and he was very particular about not mentioning Kerala-based startup. He said, okay, you might misconstrue. I know that I am a Malayali and I started from here, but there are some issues regarding investment when it comes to investment.
So one of the thing is that, one thing we Startup Mission purposefully did was we actually tried to make sure that we become visible in many of these cases in the national level. Whether now it's in the NASCOM space or in the Startup India space, Kerala is recognized very well. In fact, Kerala Startup Mission continuously 3 years got the top performer ranking, which actually, and we created some very unique things which other states have not done. Adellam bhayangara positive items. For example, procurement. The policy which we brought in to procure up to 1 crore directly from startups is actually taken as a national model. They said that you need to understand, and good thing is that not even one failure happened. Everything has actually been delivered properly by the startups process. So that image we will, I think the image is created by us. We need to break that image for all of our good. So everywhere we'll have problems also, but then we need to see the positives and go ahead.
വേറൊരു സാധനം ഞാൻ ശ്രദ്ധിച്ചത് നമ്മുടെ ഇവിടുത്തെ സ്റ്റാർട്ടപ്സ് we are not running after valuation. We are
Yes,
even if
yes.
Gen robotics
Yes, yes.
they're looking at
Correct,
profitability,
correct,
profit.
correct.
It's a good. നമ്മൾ തന്നെ ഇൻസ്റ്റിൽ ചെയ്ത ഒരു സംഭവമാണോ അത്?
This is a big dilemma because see, I was asked many times how many unicorns we have. Theoretically speaking, you can make a unicorn because it's only on valuation, right? So if somebody invests a small amount and at a high valuation, still can be a unicorn. So our startups are actually between an SME and a startup. So we may not grow at some 100x times. We don't promise that, nor we want to burn such big money. They actually wanted to, like you rightly pointed, they wanted to be profitable very early. One of the reasons why some of the VCs don't like our startups is also because of this. They are actually wanted valuation because they can trade. But I think this is actually a right model. When just before COVID, we were looking at whether we can take some of the startups to an IPO level. That is quite possible. IPO-യിലേക്ക് കൊണ്ടുപോകാൻ പറ്റും, പ്രോഫിറ്റബിൾ ആയതുകൊണ്ട് നമുക്ക് കൊണ്ടുപോകാൻ പറ്റും. പക്ഷേ അപ്പോഴാണ് കോവിഡ് വന്നത്. So that actually we got shifted. Maybe later they will start that. I would say this is good that they are focusing on, and we also have much lesser mortality during COVID compared to many other places because they were profitable and they were able to manage. പക്ഷേ വാല്യൂഷന് പോയിരുന്നെങ്കിൽ you really have problem. Yeah, exactly.
പക്ഷേ IPO പോകുന്ന can you name like 3 or 4 IPO?
No, they have not gone. We were actually looking at that point of time. We were looking at companies who are making profit and then say that can we take them? We can handhold them to an IPO level as such.
The SME IPO, you mean? Or the
It can be easy. I mean, we actually brought in SME board as well as startup board. Startup also even startup they don't even have to make profit. It can still go. So that we brought in to train these people to give them that feeling. That is the time when COVID strike. Then I also moved out of startup. So maybe now again they may restart that. Because IPO could be many of them are IPOable startup in a long run. So make profit for a few years, then they can actually they can go for the main board also because that's also quite possible. We have not thought about that as a even our SME sector has really not gone for an IPOs as such.
Yes.
So those are areas which we can look at it, and maybe the growth path which is now the SME is also speaking about, some of these aspects can actually be looked at.